Good morning, UPBOptionMillionaires.com. It is Wednesday, December 10, 2014, and this massive move we had off the lows in October has slowly started to run out of steam. It seems we'll see if this continues or if we're just going to find support before we bounce up to new record high stock prices. There's something to keep an eye on is we're starting to pull back just a little bit, but of course, if you look at this market, the dip buyers still remain. I mean, just look at yesterday's action. We had a really nasty sell-off. We had a beautiful inverted head and shoulders intraday. And we spiked up off the lows into positive territory before pulling back just a little bit at the closing bell. And overnight, futures started to drift lower, and we'll see where we can find support here this morning. Just keep an eye on overseas action. We had the Chinese stock market fall the most in 5 years, and just a lot of negative headlines out of Greece, which I believe is still pulling back today. It had the biggest pullback in its history for its stock market on Tuesday. Let's look at some individual names here. This is the QQQ, which found support at the 90 level. I was talking about this is the tech wreck in 2014. In April, this beautiful broadening descending wedge has resulted in significantly higher prices. That 105 level, we're consolidating with, looks to me like we're flagging there. If you look from a 5-year weekly perspective, you go in a little closer in a 2-year. Same thing, it looks like consolidation. So we'll see. Look at our reversal candle we had yesterday. If you want to look for the S&P 500 ETF, the spiders maintains above the Abenomics trend line that we broke below briefly in October, strung back above it again. Just take an eraser and erase that, and let's just make it look like we just stayed above it, because that makes everything look a lot more bullish. If you pull back that candle, and you can see the candle we have over the last week, which would be this week. But if you look from a monthly perspective, this is kind of what had me. On Monday, it was a beautiful, nice, wide, white candle. And today, it's kind of indecisive there. So we'll see. That's what a little selling will do. The market pulled 2 consecutive days of downside. It's not done that in a while. And if you look from a monthly candle outlook here, there's not a lot of red candles there. So every single month, if you've gone long stocks for the most part, you've been doing pretty good. And we'll see if we muster out a positive close to the year. What's going to continue to be talked about and an interesting trade going forward was no fewer than 3 or 4 articles every day on it in Barron's, the Wall Street Journal. If you look, oil, which broke out of a long-term consolidation here in this channel, broke into the downside. This is extremely bearish. I look for support at 22.50, and it needs to get back over 29 is the bottom of this channel. So I think we're in a period of very, very low gas prices for the consumer and oil prices, which is going to affect energy stocks at some point. And we see this. This is an important chart to look at here. Energy is breaking down. This support level I talked about at 80, we bounced off it. Now see, this is a monthly. If you look back, I'm just going to put up from a 2-year time frame. You can see we briefly broke below it. We had that big bounce and then the gap down. And now we're below it. This looks very bearish as well. And where it stops, nobody knows. I mean, we could head down to 70, 67.50. And I think if that does indeed happen, I'm not sure if the market's going to be able to continue to head to record highs. So it's something to keep an eye on. I didn't get any puts in it or trade for downside. But even at this juncture here, I mean, you can almost make the case here for some sort of head and shoulders topping pattern, not clearly defined, which would lead to $80 level as the neckline. And I think $70 in the next, 3 to 6 weeks is certainly within reach. Another one breaking down, FCX. I've been talking about this one for years. This head and shoulders pattern that was forming from the lows in March 2009. We topped in 2011. Looked like it was going to come to fruition here in the middle of 2013. But no, we bounced. And we're back at that level here this week. We finally broke below it with some vigor. And we'll see if we can get a continuation here. This is looking, and again, I pointed this out at the start of the week. I think this could be 1750, 1510. And then ultimately looking like a stock, although CLF was up, 8% yesterday or something like that, down a little bit today. Looking like a stock like CLF, which, same thing, topped in 2011, but hasn't bounced much ever since and looks really weak. Or WLT, similar kind of action, topped in 2011. Look at it now, trading at $1.82. All right, UPBOptionMillionaires.com. At about 15 minutes before the market's going to open for trade, I'm going to get some charts and get myself ready for the open. I'll see you in the chat room at optionmillionaires.com. Everyone have a great trading session. Certainly, I like to see the movement in the market. Makes the days a little more interesting when we see stocks moving around. Even if I'm on the wrong side of the trade here and there, I'd much rather see stocks move than just be stagnant. All right, everyone, take care. Goodbye.